Hey guys, it's Allison here and I'm getting ready to do my day 2 layout for Load 518. Today I am taking the prompt of doing sort of list style journaling. So I am going back to our trip to Scotland and England, and the photos that I have pulled out, and I'll show you those in a moment, involve a continuation of this story that I've already scrapbooked. Now I did this layout for Load 218, I believe, and it's like a page and a half. So I did a 12 by 12 with all my photos and sort of pretty bits, and then I put all my journaling on a 6 by 12 because I had a lot to say and I knew it wouldn't fit on here. And so this was about our sort of impromptu Harry Potter tour of Edinburgh and all the places that J.K. Rowling took inspiration from. The story that I want to tell today is about all the gravestones that we saw in Greyfriars Cemetery that J.K. Rowling used as character inspiration in her book. My daughter, this one here, ended up snapping pictures of pretty much every gravestone. I pretty much just took that one. I think maybe one other gravestone, I can't even remember, but she took a whole bunch. So as I was going through all the photos, I saw them and I printed them off. Now, I have printed everything at 4 by 6. So they're going to be, there's way too many and they're going to be way too big to do, to fit them all at the full size. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe punch or cut or do something to just have the names. But my point in bringing this out was that I want the layout I'm doing today to sort of sit right here, and so I want it to not completely clash with this. It doesn't have to look like a double page spread in any shape or form, but I would like to reference some of the pieces that I've used here. So this is predominantly green, so I have pulled out some green elements. I've pulled out scraps. I have a little bit of this paper left. I have this one I've used, I think it's from a cutter part. I don't think that's a branding strip, but I could be wrong. So it's blue with these dark blue unicorns on it. I do have a branding strip that I found that's teal with white unicorns, but I can maybe work that in. I've got some more of these cork stickers that I can see if any of them work. I've got more chipboard from the same collection. I've still got some of the enamel shapes. I don't have any more puffy cameras, but that's okay. I don't necessarily need them. I have other elements from the Glitter Girl sticker sheet that I can maybe pull in. Other than that, I'm just gonna see where it takes me. So I always wanted to pull this out so that I could reference it and see what I had written already. I talked about going to the cemetery and how J.K. Rowling found many of her character names there, and they're standing in front of the gravestone that has Tom Riddle's name on it. But now I want to talk about all the different names and just sort of highlight the names. So my list is going to be just a list of character names, basically. Okay, hopefully I can remember all the character names correctly. All right, so papers. Well, okay, first of all, yeah, there's a lot of photos. So I have one photo of the cemetery itself, and it's my husband and my 2 younger daughters and my cousin and his then girlfriend, now fiance. So that sort of gives me a bit of background. Oh, there's even my eldest daughter in there too. Didn't see her there. So that gives me a bit of background reference, I guess. And then these are all the photos that I have of different gravestones. Now I've already scrapbooked this particular gravestone, so I probably don't need to include it. So I can just take those and move them off. I don't have to worry about these. So here I've got the name of Potter, Scrimgeour, McGonagall is on that one. This is Black, and Moody. Okay, so this one's going to be really easy to just cut down. Here, I think I will just maybe find a common shape and punch them all into that, and then work with that on my list. Okay, so other things I have. I've just gone through my stash. I liked this. It's got green undertones with a bit of blue, so it works with the other layout. This is Gossamer Blue from 2017. The other side is a dark green, but I liked the numbers, and that sort of brings to life that list idea. This is also a Gossamer Blue paper, but older. This is from 2014. And it's also got green, so I could use that side, but I kind of liked this peachy tone. I don't know why. Maybe it reminds me of stonework. Anyways, I figure I can use those on my layout somewhere. And then I have a whole stack of scraps. Different journaling boxes that I could perhaps use. These are mostly, what I'm holding in my hand is all Chamel products from various collections. I used a lot of the Glitter Girl in my Harry Potter album, and then all my scraps just went into one pile, so that's where I grabbed these from. It was kind of a grey rainy day. It was Scotland after all, so I could maybe bring in some of that. I've got some more, like a brighter green. The other side's carrots, so that definitely won't work, but the green might. That's my little scrap of that one paper that does definitely coordinate. Got some blue. It's got pink on the other side. I don't think I need to bring in pink, but I like the sort of turquoisey blue, and this one's got some cameras on it. And then I think I've got a couple strips of that green. Nope, just the one. And then another cut apart. This is from the Bloom collection. Again, it does bring in pink, but I like this sort of special moments. I could use that one though too. You know. And then this one I kind of liked. Oh, I do have another scrap of that green. I thought I had. This one I liked. I've used the other side of it, and the top half of the photo had cityscape in it. But this is just sort of behind the graphic over top. It's like a sidewalk or a boardwalk or something. I kind of like it though. So I don't know. I have a lot here. And I'm gonna start with my photos and get those cut down, and then see where I want to go from there. I'm gonna put it on fast forward and do a voiceover later, and hopefully there's no corrupted bits for me to have to chop out, so it won't be super chopped up. Okay, here we go. So if you've been watching my process videos for any length of time, you know that normally I start by cutting my branding strips off my background papers. But this time I want to get these photographs cut down first, and that will give me a better idea of how they're going to look on the layout and what I need to do with those papers. So I've just pulled out some of my nesting dies in my Big Shot, and I decided to cut all the photos into circles, and I'm just finding sort of appropriately sized circle dies to fit the names that are in the tombstones. And I do want to have a variety of sizes. I think that will give a bit of interest to the layout, but I don't want to have just plain photographs stuck down onto my background paper. So I'm pulling out all the scraps that I had pulled aside for this layout, and I'm going to cut pinked circles just slightly larger than the photograph circles, and then back each photograph with a different colored scrap. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm picking different papers and matching them up with the right size of pinked circle. That seemed like a mouthful. And you can see from that paper that I've already cut lots of circles from that paper. So yeah, so that one I had pulled the camera paper thinking that I would use the camera side, but when I put the photograph against it, it didn't kind of blended in. So when I flipped the paper over and I saw that there was this sort of light blue block on the back, that's what I used for that particular photograph. And you can see right there, it's sitting just on the left. It stands out a lot better against that light blue than it would against the turquoise cameras. So now all my photographs are cut and matted, and it's time to turn my attention to the 4x6, which is my sort of context photograph, if you will. And I want to do some layers behind, and I haven't quite decided where it's going to sit on my paper yet, but I've cut a few different boxes and I've matted the photograph with that sort of blush pattern, because the photograph is fairly dark, and so that blush pattern will give it some contrast against whatever else goes behind it. And then behind that I have a piece of that that sort of boardwalk pattern. I'm not even sure what to call that. And now I'm just going through the rest of my bits and pieces that I've pulled aside, and I'm cutting out pieces from that cut apart sheet that I feel I could maybe work in. And then I'm just going through all the rest of those cut aparts and whatnot to see what I could use. And I think I have enough, so I'm going to start layering them up. And I want everything to be a little bit offset and askew. I don't feel like this story requires the more sort of formal, straight to the paper, everything at 90 degrees sort of layout. And so what I've done is I've got a couple of pieces. I have that raindrop paper and then the large journaling box, and that might have made you sort of twinge a little bit that I've covered up basically the entire journaling box. I just wanted the corner of the blue vine pattern, and I could have chopped it up and saved it, but honestly it's been sitting in my scrap bin for a long time, so I figured that I just need to get it on the page and I'm not going to worry about the waste. And then I cut down the remainder of that camera print to a just a wide strip, and I then chopped that in half so I can have it on either side of the photograph. And I did the same with that little scrap of the green stripe. And I've decided that I'm going to have the photo down at the bottom, a little bit like a base, I suppose, and then have the other photographs up above, sort of scattered. I do love my top left to bottom right layout or design principle, whatever you want to call that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to achieve there with the circle photographs. And I'm just trimming up some of those other bits that I cut apart just to make them a little bit better sizes for the layout. But I haven't decided if they're going to actually go there yet. And then I remember that I wanted to get that unicorn branding strip in there. So I've chopped it into 3 pieces, a short piece on either side of the photograph. And then I've put that longer piece up at the top, and I think I can build a bit of an embellishment cluster up there. But I'm still working on these other pieces. So just trimming everything, and I haven't quite decided where they're going to go yet. So I'm just trimming them and sort of laying them roughly where I think they could go. And now I'm going to work up at the top there. So I had a piece of the blue vine on a branding strip. So I figure I can pull that up to the top, and that helps bring all the paper scraps that I've used behind my photo up to the top there, as well as the unicorn branding strip. And now I'm just getting my photos stuck down, and I really am not thinking too much about where they're going. In fact, this whole layout, I wasn't really thinking too much about where things were going when I stuck them down. And if I had been, I probably would have made different decisions, but I didn't. So it is what it is. I just really want them to be sort of scattered, and that is what I'm going to do my journaling on. And I had tried to work it to see if I could work it in as a big block of paper on my layout, but that didn't seem to fit with what I had already on there. So I decided to number each journaling piece and then chop it up. But I had to take a little break because I couldn't quite remember where the character of Scrimgeour was from. So I thought I would just going to go and I'm going to Google it, and I'm going to get the correct spelling of each character name from the book so that I can use that in my journaling as well, because some of them J.K. Rowling changed the spelling a little bit. And so I've basically just written down the name from the gravestone and then what J.K. Rowling turned it into on my journaling. And then it's numbered like a list because I want to make sure this is a list. And but I'm going to chop them up, and I'm going to put the little sections with each photograph. And I'm sorry, I forgot that this was off camera, so I forgot to move my layout down. So some of this is going to get sort of, you're going to miss a little bit of it. So I do apologize. And I'm just trying to find the best way to put these on the layout. And I realized that that small photograph, which has, I think it's the black name on it, was going to be in the way of this journaling block for Scrimgeour. So I had to move it, get the journaling block for Scrimgeour down first, and then find a new home for the black photograph. And then to further dress up these journaling boxes, I'm going to use these pink numbers, pink tiled numbers from the Glitter Girl collection and I just basically stuck them down over top of the numbers that I had handwritten. And that does help bring it, relate it better to the other layout, because I think I used those same numbers on the other layout. I used numbers of some sort of letter sticker, and I can't remember right now what it was, but I think it was these numbers. And now I'm just going through the rest of that Glitter Girl sticker pack to find a few more elements. And I've put a hexagon sticker just above the photo there on the left. And then a word bubble that says Saving the World with the Potter name. I thought that was pretty appropriate. And these are word strips from a Gossamer Blue kit. So I'm just picking, I think I picked 3. And this is where I was like, I wonder where everything else is going to go, because where am I going to put these stickers? So I have sort of randomly placed them, hoping that I can just make it all work. And these cork stickers. So one thing that I will let you know, that if you have cork stickers in your stash, and they've been in there for more than a couple of years, probably more than a year, you might want to use them and get them on your layout, because these, as I stick them down and pull my finger away, a little bit of the cork comes with it. So they do not sort of last forever. They will disintegrate. So yeah, fair warning, get them on your layouts. Don't keep them in your stash. And now I'm finding some chipboard pieces. The other layout had chipboard on it. So I'm just trying to pull some shapes and wording that go with my story. And I have one word chipboard piece, adventure. So I want to use that in my title, and I'm just trying to figure out where I want my title to go. I did think that I would be making some sort of title or something over there where I put the chipboard circle and the word strip on the bottom right. But now I don't think my title is going to fit there. So I'm going to move it over to the left-hand side of the photograph and use the word stickers that I have there to spell out the rest of the title. I didn't have enough R's in those pink letters to spell out Greyfriars, so I'm using these sort of turquoise, well, are they turquoise? Tealy green? I'm not sure. Letter stickers. These are from a Simple Stories travel sticker set. So I'm using those to spell out Greyfriars, and then I'll use the pink letters to spell out the word hour. And with adventure, that makes the title Our Greyfriars Adventure, which I thought was kind of appropriate. And I have learned that these need a little bit of extra adhesive, otherwise they sort of start slipping on your layout. Okay, so the major elements are there, but that space between the journaling for the Harry Potter and the cork sticker is kind of bugging me. So I'm looking for pieces to fill in, and then I decide that I can add just a little bit more journaling on that darker block of paper, because there's nothing written on that, it's just pattern. And that will help sort of fill in that hole. And yeah, I'm covering up a lot of the pattern, but I'm like of the scraps that are behind it, but I'm not going to worry about that. Those scraps show up on other layouts, so I'm not worried about covering them up. And then my last bit is to add those enamel shapes in. And I had a sheet that had 3 stars in 3 different colors. So I have just scattered them around the layout, and there you see the finished layout. Okay, so there's a number of close-ups now because I wanted to show you all the different name blocks, I guess. And we'll just take you through that. I do think it's really interesting that J.K. Rowling went to a cemetery to find all these names. I think that's an awesome idea. And there's my title. I do like making titles with a variety of different word stickers, so glad that worked out. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Sorry this is a day late. I will try and do better today. Bye.